What's up, math scholars? Mrs. Hart here. We are learning 1-7, completing the square. So we actually had a warm-up that I didn't put on the video that we practiced finding magic numbers, but we'll learn on this video how you find your magic number and how you use it to complete the square. So, hey, it's Thursday. Who's happy it's Thursday? Sunny outside. Woo! Thursday. No one likes Thursdays. Thursday is my least favorite day of the week because you're really, really tired. But Friday is really far away still. Why do you love Thursdays? No, they're actually not. All right, here are your steps to finding the magic number. You're going to find that B value. Remember A, B, and C when we were doing standard form? Same thing. You're going to find that B number. You're going to divide it by 2, and then you're going to square it. So we had the discussion during the warm-up that your magic number will always be a positive number because a negative squared is a positive. All right, so let's just do some real quick practice with finding the magic number. It looks a little bit different than it did in the warm-up, but you're going to find the B value. In this case, it's the 10. I'll do the first one with you. So you're going to take that 10. You're going to divide the 10 by 2. That's actually 10. It looks like a 16. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And then you're going to square the number 5. So it's 25. And you might be like, what is so magical about that number? Why is that 25 so magical? Well, that 25 is so magical because it creates a perfect square trinomial. To factor this perfect square trinomial, you just think of numbers that multiply to 25 that add to 10, and you'll factor very nicely. So what numbers multiply to 25 and add to 10? 2? No, not 2. A 5 and a 5, right? And we can write that x plus 5 squared. So that's what is so magical about that magic number, is it makes these things very factorable, very nicely factored. Okay, so let's just practice. We're not going to factor these last two, we're just going to find that magic number. So for one ticket, what is my magic number in the second one? Nathan? No, the magic number. You have to actually take B, then divide by 2, then get that answer, then square it. So what now do you think is the magic number? 36. Well, I'm going to give him one more chance. You might need a calculator for this last one. Find your B value, divide it by 2, then square that result. Is that what everybody else got? So you do negative 9, divide by 2, which is negative 4.5, and then you square it. And it's a positive. Anytime you square a negative number, you get a positive. Your magic number is always a positive. Makes sense? I'll give you the ticket for this one. Alright, so any questions on the magic number? Alright, so it's just kind of, you don't need to write this down, but it kind of talks about what we're doing today. It's almost a little confusing. They're using like a geometry concept to describe what we're doing in algebra. But you're basically completing the square to make a perfect square that will then be factorable. All right, so it says find the value of C that would make x squared plus 16x plus C a perfect square trinomial, and then write it as the expression as the square of a binomial. So basically factor it. So first things first, give me my magic number that I can place right in there for C. Who knows what my magic number would be? Let's go with Logan.
64.
Very good. Is everybody on board with how he got the 64? I'll just show the work. He grabbed that 16, which is the B value. He divided it by 2, which gave him 8. Then he squared it, which is 64. So you divide by 2 and you square it. That's like your steps. You probably, I was going to say, I don't think you actually have to memorize the steps. I think they're on here. Oh no, the steps aren't here. It says find magic number. So the steps to finding the magic number, you actually have to memorize. That's for Logan. All right, so to complete this problem, they are saying to factor it and write it as the square of a binomial. So let's factor this expression. What numbers multiply to 64 that add to 16? 8 and 8. And it's that original number. When you originally divided that 16 by 2 and got 8, that's that number that will always go there. And then you want to be a math scholar and write like this for sure. Everyone has to be a math scholar and write like that today. I know you hate doing that extra step. You have to do that.
Okay. Wait, do I have to talk?
Yeah, here's the microphone. All right, hello everyone on the video. We have a student who's going to be explaining number 4 to y'all. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so you're gonna take your 14 and then divide it by 2 and get 7. Then you're gonna square it to get 49. And then you're gonna rewrite it x squared plus 14, x plus 49. Then you're gonna factor it. And you're gonna get x plus 7, x plus 7. And to be math scholarly, you're gonna do x plus 7 squared. Yeah.
Okay, go.
Alright, so first off, you're going to do 22 divided by 2, and that equals 11. And then you're going to do x squared plus, no, never mind, wait, restart. Okay, I got that. Alright, so then you have to just do 11 squared equals 121. And then you're going to factor that out, so then it's x plus 11 and x plus 11. And then that equals x plus 11 squared to be a math scholar. There we go. Any questions, class?
All right.
Oh, wait.
You're on.
No, I can't do this. Alrighty, for this next one, x minus 20x plus c. God. You would divide negative 20 by 2, that would be negative 10, and then you square that one, and then c would become 100, but then you also have to have 100, but also have to add up to negative 20, so then you would do x minus 10, and then x minus 10 again. But to be an extra math scholar, you would do x minus 10 squared. Any questions?
Pumpkin perfect. All right, hello people on the video. We're now talking about why we're doing this magic number stuff, and we're going to learn the whole entire process to completing the square. Right now, I've got x squared minus 10x plus 17, and this is in standard form. The prompt is to get it into vertex form by completing the square and then identify the vertex. Now the problem is we have this equation that is prime. It's not factorable. The only numbers I can think of that multiply to 17 are 1 and 17. And they do not add up to negative 10 no matter how hard I try. So we're going to use this magic number completing the square technique. So your first step is to write out the problem and place a blank space between your b and c terms. If you don't like f of x, no problem, you could use a y. It really doesn't matter to me. So do you guys like f of x or do you like y better? Y. Okay, let's just go with y. Yeah. So we're going to write x squared minus 10x plus blank plus 17. You basically leave a big blank spot between that negative 10x and that 17, because that's where your magic number is going to go. Step 2, find that magic number and put it in the blank. And place it on the other side of the equation as well to keep everything balanced. So 1 ticket, what is my magic number? Yes?
100.
No.
Oh.
Ava. Ooh. 25. You forgot to divide your 10 by 2.
Oh,
Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Squared is 25. Now you also have to put the 25 over here because you can't get your equation unbalanced. You always have to add the same amount to both sides. Step 3, factor. And then step 4, get everything on one side and move this down on my way. So when I say factor, it's these 3 that get factored. Those 3 are our perfect square trinomial, it's called. It would factor down into x minus 5 times x minus 5. And if you want to be a super scholar, you just skip writing it twice and you just write it once, like that. X minus 5 squared. So I still have my 25 plus y over here. And I still have my plus 17 over here. My very last step is to subtract this 25 over to the side. And then I'll be done. X minus 5 squared minus 8. That is in vertex form. Voila. And just for fun, what is the vertex? Yeah, you thought that whole vertex form so much done.
Easier to find
Isn't that
vertex.
wild? Hello, people in the video. My class decided they want to do a real hard one next. So I said, alrighty, let's do one where the magic number ends up being a decimal. So we're going to do number 18 right there that I just circled in green. So go ahead and jot it down. When I first write down, if I was just writing in my notebook, I would go ahead and put that blank space between that B and C term. So writing in your notebook, you would do y equals x squared plus 9x plus blank plus 19. That blank is where that magic number is going to be. And if you want to be a super scholar, put that plus blank over here just to remind yourself that magic number is going to have to go on both sides. All right, let's find that magic number. What is 9 divided by 2? 4.5. What is 4.5 squared? 20.25. So we're going to put that right there. And you put that over here. That's a 20.25. It just isn't right that good near the edge. All right, so we got our magic number added to both sides, keeping our equation really balanced. Now we're going to factor out our perfect squared trinomial that we have just created. It would factor into x plus 4.5 squared. Whatever number you originally get when you divide your b by 2, that's that number that is always the place. And our last step, subtract that 20.25 over to join B19. You guys have to calculate that out and let me know what you get. Negative 1.75? That's what I was thinking, 1.25. But you know how it is, I don't trust my mind at 8:23 in the morning. Negative
This whole video
1.25.
is full of my mistakes.
It's okay, you know.
Like this video is just.
You had a fun time in math class, that's all that matters. How many days do you say I had a fun day in math?
Never.
Exactly. So I'm
You
glad
get bullied by
making
everybody
these
watching the video.
making these videos put a smile on your face. I'm glad. All right, so our vertex is negative 4.5, negative 1.25. All right, we're going to do this one as our graduation problem. So if you're watching the video at home, you can click pause and then join us again when you're ready to check your answer. All right, let's talk about what that magic number is then, because I think people are getting the wrong magic number. You're going to take that negative 4, you're going to divide it by 2, and that's negative 2. And then you're going to square that number. So it's a positive 4. If you didn't get a positive 4, erase and put a positive 4 on both sides. All right, to factor this perfect square trinomial, it would be a negative 2 and a negative 2 that would add correctly and multiply correctly. So we're going to write x minus 2 squared. We still have our 9 hanging out. We still have our 4 plus y hanging out. And then we subtract 4 to end it. And don't forget to list out the vertex for fun practice at the end. Our final answer is x minus 2 squared plus 5, which makes our vertex 2.5. So who did graduate? Just curious. This isn't the easiest.
I kind of graduated.
I'd say half, but we had questions from people that didn't graduate. Did you just get the wrong magic number? Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Graduate.
You didn't help
Yeah,
us.
the wrong magic number is never good. Okay, so your homework is in the book. Make sure you're showing all your work, finding those magic numbers and stuff. Yeah, so it looks like the whole first section, all you have to do is find that magic number and factor it, and then the last 3 are the only ones where you have to do that whole process. All right, sweet. So thanks for watching the video at home.